Hey everyone, special treat for you tonight. I'm going to tell you how to buy graphics cards at retail pricing. And bit of foreshadowing, not that hard. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and just put these over here. Yep. All right, so all over the news, all over social media, the internet, everywhere, everyone's been talking about the graphics card shortage. There's been tons of videos on YouTube, and not enough people are covering how not big a deal this actually is. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a pain to buy a graphics card right now compared to, like a couple years ago going and just buying a card on sale. Like, it used to be much, much easier. And because of mining, there's a shortage, right? But this idea that you have to spend $1,500 to get a graphics card is just insane. Now, let me preface this by saying I'm going to show you how to buy a card at retail. Don't get me wrong. These are not sale prices. They're not special prices. We're not getting that. We're not going to get that. There's nothing... There's no reason for the manufacturers to run sales right now because everything is selling so well. So if like normal retail pricing on a 1080 Ti is $800, you're going to pay $800. Now, in the ideal world that we used to have, maybe when we were competing for graphics cards with miners, then okay, that card might actually be $700 by now. Or cheaper, on sale. And actually, on Black Friday, I think some did go on sale. But you also don't have to pay $1,500. And please don't spend $1,500 on a graphics card. The sick thing about all of this is that even though like miners are part of the problem, one of like the bigger problems is the scalpers on Amazon and all of these other sites who are buying a ton of graphics cards just to flip them over and sell them to anyone at twice the price. So by supporting those people, you're only making this worse, and you're making it take even longer for this to all sort itself out. So buying a card at retail is actually super, super easy. Pretty much for me, it came down to using 3 different methods. I got 3 cards, as you can see here, and I actually got them 3 different ways. And it will take you maybe a week to secure a card, which I think is still fairly reasonable. Yes, I'd like to be able to just go and click and buy the card, but if it only takes you a week, it's going to take you a week for the rest of your parts. If you're building a PC, it's going to take you a week for the rest of the parts to show up at your door anyways. So that's the best I can do for you. My very first card I actually purchased on Amazon. And with this one, it pretty much just comes down to not being too concerned about a particular model, but just typing in 1080 Ti into your search bar, clicking search, and then let's face it, we all mess around a little bit at work each day. We definitely spend too much time on Facebook at home in the evening. Just leave this tab open. In fact, you can even pin it in your browser and just come in here, click refresh, click search every once in a while, once you know what kind of card, obviously, and just search the page. If you want to try to like narrow things down a little further, you can narrow down by brand. Definitely clicking Amazon Prime will help here. And then just wait. Like I said, this is my first method. This is the way that I got my first card. And of course, a really nice thing is getting Prime shipping on this. Once the reason you need to make the decision as to what you're going to get first is because these go extremely quick. So you need to know in your mind, I want a 1080 Ti. I am willing to pay $850 or less, and then just click search. As soon as you see that deal available here, click on it. Hopefully, maybe you even have one-click buy configured. Go in here, buy it. Boom, done. Now, my second card I actually secured on Newegg. Now, Newegg, kind of like we saw with Amazon, if you look at Amazon, you can see there's a ton of prices here, right? But these aren't This isn't Amazon selling these cards. These are third-party sellers. Newegg has the same issue. So if you come over here, you'll see some like outrageously priced cards, and they're usually not sold by Newegg. One thing that you can do on Newegg is sort by seller and select Newegg. Now it does look like, oh, well, this is a motherboard. I have no idea why this particular card is $1,000. But as you can see, these other ones are normal prices, but they're also out of stock. So one thing I recommend is you come in here, you select the cards that you would possibly want to buy, you click to notify, and you'll get an email if and when it is in stock. Now, those emails, everybody's getting those emails. So this isn't like a foolproof thing. If you are looking for the email, I suggest you go into Gmail or you go into your email client and you set up an alert of some kind in your email. Have it make a ding or some kind of alarm go off when you get that email. Because everybody's getting that email at the same time. By the time, you check your email, it might be a half hour, hour later, and it's already going to be out of stock again. The other thing is, like the Amazon approach, leave the page open. Again, the idea is you're only going to have to do this for a week. This isn't like for a month you're going to have to hunt for a graphics card. Just pin that tab with the Amazon tab and just refresh it. One thing I noticed with Newegg that's kind of nice is cards seem to go in stock around the same time. For me, it was around between 5 and 8 in the evening, Eastern time. I don't know if this is a thing. I'm sure somebody will look it up on Reddit and can get better answers, but just watch during those times. You'll notice that certain cards will start popping up in stock. And then, of course, within 10 minutes, going out of stock again. With Newegg, there's no hold if you add it to your cart. So make sure that if you know what card you want, you add it to your cart, you click buy, you go through that order process, and you secure the card. Because if you do hesitate, oh, well, maybe I want this other one, it's going to be sold out. Right? So have in mind what cards that you want ahead of time. So that's Newegg. And like I said, my second card I secured here. My third card I secured directly through EVGA. And I believe MSI has a store as well. I think Asus does. I am admittedly somewhat of an EVGA fanboy, as you can tell. Their store also has a notify function. So again, set up an email alert. Have that ready to go. Have your account created. Again, I don't know if the cart will hold things for you here. I'm not certain, but have that ready to go. Check in periodically. And again, just set up notifications for whatever cards you could possibly want. So already here we have 3 different sites that sell cards at retail price. And like I said, it took me about 3 weeks, but I was able to actually secure 3 cards 3 different ways. So you can too. And I'm actually going to throw in a bonus here. Another place where you can possibly grab a card. They don't come up super frequently, but Massdrop. Massdrop is an awesome site for all sorts of things, pens, knives, what have you. But there is a tech category, and they do occasionally have graphics cards for sale here. And especially here, you can actually sometimes get a deal, $50 to $100 off certain cards. Now, the way that Massdrop works is people vote on the cards they would like to see available, and then essentially put together a bulk order for everyone, and then you're able to purchase that card. Now, fair warning here, it might take you a little while to get that card. It's not quite like shopping on some of these other shops where you buy it and, a few days later you receive it. Because everyone's essentially pooling their order together, putting in a big order, that order comes in and then they dole it out to all the individuals. It will take a bit longer. So again, a bit of planning can go a long way. If you're planning on building a PC this summer and you don't want to wait for new cards or something like that, go ahead, vote on some of these polls as to which cards you'd like to see available, and then go ahead and jump in on one of these drops. It's probably the best pricing that I have seen on cards But again, the selection here is going to be limited, and it will take you a bit longer to get your card. So that's 4 ways for you to get your cards at retail. So again, I acknowledge this isn't like the old days where you have sale prices and you get cards super cheap and everything like that. But you certainly don't need to be paying $1,500 or more to buy a graphics card. In fact, please don't. It is only making things worse and emboldening all of the scalpers and those horrible resellers that are on Newegg and Amazon buying cards and then flipping them over for profit. So there you go. Have a good night.